Cleo was a curious girl who loved to learn about ancient Egypt. She lived in Cairo with her father, who was an archaeologist. He often took her to the sites he was working on and taught her about the history and culture of the pharaohs. One day, he told her he had a special surprise for her. He had obtained a permit to explore the Great Sphinx of Giza, the huge statue of a lion with a human head that guarded the pyramids. He said he had a hunch that there was a hidden chamber inside the Sphinx, and he wanted Cleo to help him find it. Cleo was thrilled. She had always wondered what secrets the Sphinx might hold. She packed her backpack with a flashlight, a notebook, a camera, and some snacks and followed her father to the car. They drove to the Giza Plateau where the Sphinx and the pyramids stood. They showed their permit to the guards and walked to the base of the Sphinx. Cleo looked up at the colossal stone face and felt a shiver of awe. "Are you ready, Cleo?" her father asked. "Yes, Dad. Let's go," she said. They climbed up the stone steps that led to the back of the Sphinx. There, they found a small opening that looked like a crack in the rock. Cleo's father shone his flashlight inside and saw a narrow passage that sloped downward. "This must be it," he said. "Come on, Cleo. Be careful." They crawled into the opening and followed the passage. It was dark and dusty, and they had to bend low to avoid hitting their heads. Cleo felt a mix of excitement and fear. She wondered what they would find at the end of the tunnel. After a few minutes, they reached a dead end. There was a stone wall with a carved relief of a pharaoh wearing a double crown. Cleo recognized him as Khafre, the builder of the second-largest pyramid and the likely owner of the Sphinx. "Wow, look at this," Cleo's father said. "This must be the entrance to the chamber. But how do we open it?" He examined the wall, looking for a clue. He noticed that there were some hieroglyphs around the relief and tried to read them. This is interesting," he said. "It says, 'Only the wise can enter the secret of the Sphinx. To prove your wisdom, answer this riddle. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening?'" Cleo gasped. She knew that riddle. She had read it in a book about Greek mythology. It was the same riddle that the Sphinx asked Oedipus, the king of thieves, who solved it and saved his city from the monster. "Dad, I know the answer," she said. "You do?" he asked. "Yes, it's a human. A human walks on 4 legs as a baby, 2 legs as an adult, and 3 legs as an old person with a cane," she said. "Of course, you're right," he said. "But how do we enter it?" He looked at the relief again and saw that there were 4 buttons on the corners of the wall. Each button had a symbol of a leg. Maybe we have to press the buttons in the right order," he said. "Let's try it. You press the 4 legs, I'll press the 2 legs, and we'll both press the 3 legs together." They did as they planned and heard a click. The wall slid open, revealing a dark chamber. "We did it, Cleo!" exclaimed her father. "Let's see what's inside," he said. They entered the chamber and turned on their flashlights. They saw a large sarcophagus in the center surrounded by statues, paintings, and treasures. There were also shelves full of scrolls, books, and maps. This is incredible," Cleo's father said. "This must be the burial chamber of Khafre. And look at all these artifacts." They could tell us so much about his life and reign. At that time, Cleo's father received a phone call. It was one of the guards. "It is time to exit the pyramid, sir. We've already sent an escort." Cleo's father was not too happy to abort the exploration so early, as he was so close to finding the secret scroll and the map, which would lead them to the lost city of Atlantis. He nonetheless walked to the sarcophagus. As they were trying to open the lid to see what's inside, they heard some noisy footsteps. "Let's go, Dad," Cleo said. "It's too late. They're coming." But Cleo's father couldn't let that opportunity slip away. He opened the lid and found a mummy wrapped in linen wearing a golden mask and a jeweled collar. "It's him. It's Caffrey," he said. Cleo joined him and looked at the mummy. She saw a scroll just above its head. "Careful, Cleo, it might be fragile," her father warned. She gently took the scroll and quickly hid it in her bag. They closed the lid and exited the chamber. The guards soon arrived and found Cleo and her father roaming around as if they lost their way. "Have you lost your way?" one of the guards asked unsuspiciously. "Let me show you the exit." As they were going, another guard murmured, "Do you think they were able to enter the chamber?" "It's impossible," another replied. "No one can solve the riddle and enter the chamber." Cleo and her father glanced at each other and smiled. Thus ended one of their most exciting and challenging adventures, which was in fact a prelude to a bigger one awaiting them, finding the lost city of Atlantis.